Hello? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another CreamCatCorner stream. Uh um I said I want to play a game that I used to play as a kid, right? Turns out that game did not want to be streamed like at all. I tried I tried so hard to make it work, but somehow it it doesn't want to be streamed. It doesn't show up in OBS and there's no sound and the resolution is pee pee poo poo. So yeah, we're playing Dead Cells then because I feel so bad about that. So why not? Um the game in question that I wanted to play was um both both of the game of Feeding Frenzy. Feeding Frenzy 1 and Feeding Frenzy 2. Uh, it's it's very not very old. I think it's one of the early PC games that I've used to play as a kid. Um, yeah, but it doesn't show up on stream on OBS to be specific. At least not using my usual capturing technique. I can use display capture, but display capture the resolution is very very tiny, and I don't think anyone would want to see such a tiny window of the game being played. So yeah, I decided not to play that. And then I have a backup game that I wanted to play that I too used to play as a kid, but not as old as Feeding Frenzy, but still it's a game that I used to play, which is Silent Hill 4. Oh man, Silent Hill 4 does want to be shown on OBS, but the controls are a little bit janky. It's not it's not as intuitive as I remember playing on PS4. Bear in mind the game that I played is the GOG release of the game. So yeah, I didn't expect it to be that janky. So I need to get some settings done on that game before I am able to stream it. So yeah, that's a lot of things that that game doesn't allow me to stream it yet. But sometime in the future I will be streaming that game. So just a heads up, I will be streaming Silent Hill 4 sometime soon. Okay, another one. Another one. Oh man, yesterday I tried to make a new schedule table for my new streaming schedule, right? And what do you know? The game, sorry, not the game. Um, the program crashed on me as I was exporting the video. Man, yesterday is not my day. Okay. So yeah, that's why I feel so dead inside right now. Uh, yeah, but expect some new schedule to be released on, I think it's either tomorrow or Sunday stream, but expect it to be released sometime soon. Also, by the way, Dead Cells, right? Sorry for the tangent there, but I feel like I need to explain a little bit about that. Um, yeah, I've beaten Dead Cells, at least the normal path. Uh, yeah, I've I've beaten it by accident. I was practicing the game, and somehow I just beaten the right hand king. I don't know how, but I beaten it. Okay, that weapon aspect is not good. But you know what? I also forgot to use this. I think one of the reason I am able to win was because of this guy. But yeah, let me just do something normal. Gosh, okay, maybe use this and the shield. Somehow I used I used the shield against the right hand king boss, and it worked. Somehow it works. Also, when you win, the giant skeleton is gone, and I can do this. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I'm trying to see, but I don't see any benefit of me using that technique. And then there's this. I actually never entered this, so let's go. Seems like he might have been in a bit of a rush. Oh my god. Skeleton King. He's gone into the lava. Guess he didn't want to come back after all. I'm definitely not going in after him. Interesting. What? Okay. That didn't work. Then how? Interesting. You know what? Since the weapon... Ooh, what's this? Claw mark. Does he really have claws this size? Interesting. This is the giant skeleton that sits in the corner before. Whoops. Come on. Okay. You know what? I don't think this is gonna be it, so I am just gonna restart the game. Okay, yeah, see that giant skeleton there? Yeah, that's the one that is missing in our quarters. Ooh. Tori's katana. And also, by the way, I've unlocked a lot of things. So I don't think there's a lot of things I need to unlock. But yeah, there's something. Most of the mutation and everything else has been unlocked except for the weapon. Okay, what is this? Hattori's katana, wheat shield. Wait, what? Victim release a toxic cloud with each hit. Okay, fine. Nice. Hey. Okay, let's go. Let's go quickly. Sinew slicer. Oops. Nice. Oh, come on. Okay. I dislike low weapon. And usually the winning build, I don't use this kind of build. If the opportunity presents itself, I am gonna show you guys what kind of weapon that I use. Oh, you. Hello, Santa. Hello, hello. Welcome back. How are you? Oh gosh, okay. I hope your week is much better than mine. I've been having a rough week so far. Quick bow. Interesting. Golden amulet. Or fire grenade. Do I want another bow? I don't. So let's take the golden amulet. Oops. The move is going fine. Nice. Just that the internet doesn't seem to be working. Ooh, bummer. But at least you got to move into your new place. How come it's been rough for me? Well, it's been a week to be honest, because a lot of the things that I want to do doesn't seem to be going to my plan. Um, in my business, the thing that I want to give to my customer didn't turn out great, so I had to remake it, and that thing, um, one, cost money, and second, it cost my time, and I was running a little bit late because of that, and it threw off my schedule into chaos, to be honest. And then stream wise, I did want to stream something that I played from my childhood on this time slot, but both of the game did not want to be streamed. So yeah, I had to scratch that and play Dead Cells instead. And yesterday I tried to make a new stream schedule, um, um, video, not video, but infographic, I have to say, for my channel, and the program crashed when I was exporting, and it didn't want to be recovered. So yeah, I need to do that again, but I feel like I need to take a little break after that. So yeah, a lot of things didn't go to my plan this week. Ooh. Oh, by the way, this Hayabusa gauntlet is the one that I unlock after beating the right hand king, whatever it is. All kinds of problems. Sorry to hear that. Nah, don't worry. It's just a minor setback, and I just need to take a little break and take things step by step. That's all. It's just that yeah, when people expect perfection from you, it um can be quite a lot, to be honest. Can okay, what kind of business that I do? Yeah, it's food related. So one I do um I'm not saying it's pastry, because pastry means that I did a whole slew of pastry other than pies. But yeah, I mostly do pies, and then I did some um, ready to eat food that I need to process, similar to canning. So yeah, it's the process did not work, and when it didn't work, I had to scrape that and basically redid the whole thing. So I feel quite um disheartened because I basically threw away food. So yeah, bear in mind the food that I throw out is not fit to be consumed because it's already been spoiled. So I have to remake it in such a way that is safe for the customer to eat. So yeah, it might be a minor setback for me, but it's better that than giving a customer a bad batch of food. So that's my um stance on it. Okay, no mercy or velocity. I feel like no mercy is the one that helps me a lot in previous runs, so I'm gonna take that. Sounds like something you have no clue about. uh, it's similar to um, canning, I have to say. In fact, it's a lot similar to canning, just that it's a different form of canning. So yeah, it requires a lot of planning and a lot of know-how on how to do stuff like that. Oh my god, okay. Whoops. Excuse me. Oh snap. Come on, stay away from there. Come on. Nice. Compass amulet. Ooh. A process that I develop or something? It's not. Actually, it's not a process that I develop. Um, Actually, it's quite common. You know those ready-to-eat meal? Okay. I'm not sure if it's available in your country or not, but you know how when you say tuna, you automatically think about tuna that is in a can, right? There is also nowadays there's also tuna in a pouch, something like that, right? I am using that pouch. So that is called, not sure what it's called internationally, but it's a process similar to pressure canning, where the food inside the pouch in a heat table pouch is heated to a specific pressure and temperature, and then for a specific amount of time so that it can be shelf stable. So basically, you have the flexibility of a pouch without the disadvantages of glass jar or cans. Yeah, something like that. Whoops. Oh, no. Nice. Oh, you monster. Nice. Something like travel food. Yes, you're actually correct. For camping and hiking and stuff, yes. Uh, I am doing my local dish that I process into that kind of pouch. So basically, I do that for convenience sake. So mostly they are done by people. Sorry, the product is consumed by people that are going on hiking and and the likes. And if they are traveling to certain places where it's quite difficult to get food that is suitable for their dietary needs, I usually provide for that. So yeah, it's the whole process is very how should I say this? Very finicky. It needs to be very very precise and controlled in such a way that um, there's no way it can be failed. If it fails, then the whole batch is failed. And I'm not taking any chances because basically you are extending the shelf life of the food. And yeah, so it doesn't serve the purpose if the food is spoiled like 2 weeks after it has been made. So usually when you finish processing the food, you cannot sell it to the customer just yet. It needs to be under an incubation period, basically. And yeah, during that incubation period, then you'll know if it works or not. Usually big, okay, what is this? I really hate the throwable object. You know what? I'm gonna save it. Usually big companies do something similar like that. They usually send it to big testing companies to check for any kind of microbe activity after it has been processed. But since I am a home-based producer, I say producer, but I don't know. I don't know how to label myself as. Yeah, as someone that is home based, I do have the necessary equipment to do that, and so far, the food that I did is very shelf stable. Given that if it works, it works. Still, I'm still quite I have to say that the equipment I had right now is something new for me. So that's a lot of things that I need to learn and master. You do use that kind of meals somewhat frequently? Nice. You go for a hike a couple of times every year. Nice. If I have to be honest, the reason why I did the reason why I did that kind of food was because I usually dislike throwing away food. I really, really dislike throwing food, especially when it is still edible. And I don't know, I feel so guilty whenever I had to throw away food. So I decided, why can't I save that food? And usually, I'm not saying I'm very good at cooking, but the food that I cook are usually more palatable, palatable to people. So I decided, why not? Why not do that? And yeah, sell it to people. I also do some food seasoning. I I want to say seasoning, but have you heard of furikake? Yeah, it's kind of like furikake, a Japanese rice seasoning, similar to that, but instead I'm using it using local ingredients instead. So instead of seaweed, I use something else and a lot of chilies and a lot of anchovies. Okay, let me type it in the chat. So, furikake is basically a rice seasoning that is very common in Japanese. And if you've eaten onigiri, most probably you have heard of furikake. So yeah, I also do that. Thank God there's no problem in making that kind of stuff, that rice seasoning. I would cry if that didn't work. But yeah, that process, it's not. Oh, what is this? It's not hard, but it does take um quite a lot of effort just to prepare the stuff. But the good news is that once you prepare the stuff, it's quite easy to do. I mean, not. I have a recipe written so that each of the batch that I do is consistent throughout. Oh, fuck, okay. The one thing that I really dislike from... Oh gosh, okay, Twin Dagger. Do I want this? No, I don't. Can't say you've heard it before. Oh, no, don't worry. It's quite common for me in Asian countries to have that in Japanese section of the grocery store. And yeah, it's something that I used to like having on my rice actually. It's very oh gosh, okay. Much as I like the ice crossbow, I'm not gonna take it right now. I love the savoriness on my rice. You might try it now that you have a proper kitchen. Yes, you try it. But bear in mind, if you... What is this? Why is there only bombs? Hello? Furikake is quite, how should I say this? If you got one that doesn't suit your taste, I'm sure there's a lot of variation out there in the market that will suit your taste. For example, the one that I used to eat in Japan is that it has... It's kind of like anchovies, mini anchovies, that has been simmered in soy sauce and then dried. The anchovies is still soft, but then it is combined with sesame seed and what else? Salt, and seaweed. Yeah, they combine with that. I personally did not like that flavor. And then I tried another one that is based on salmon roe. The packaging says salmon roe, but I'm not sure if it's even a salmon roe. And that one is very, very delicious. So there's a lot of variation of furikake in the market. So if you found one that doesn't suit your taste, then it's most probably because you got a bad one or something that doesn't suit your taste. Wolf Trap 2. Yeah, I'm gonna take that. Man, when I returned back from Japan, I did haul a suitcase full of that stuff. Ice grenade, huh? Okay, I'm gonna sell it. Oh gosh. You know what? Since we already been hit, I'm just gonna go. At least we can get a time bonus room, so that's nice. The one thing that when I stayed in Japan for a bit, the one thing that I missed the most was that Japanese food are not spicy. I mean, they still taste delicious, but it doesn't taste spicy at all. So, as someone growing up in Southeast Asia, spiciness is part of our DNA. I know some people, not all, doesn't like spiciness. Ooh, flamethrower turret. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna take it. I know that not all Southeast Asian like spicy food, but come on, be honest. Most of us like spicy food. And yeah, when I go to Japan, the one thing that I miss a lot when eating there was something spicy. So much so that I had to buy a small bottle of chili flakes. It's not even chili flakes. It's called Shichimi Togarashi. You like spicy food too? Nice. You like sushi as well though. You don't know many other Japanese food. Yeah, sushi is something that is accessible to everyone. So yeah. Ooh, marksman bow. What is this? Inflicts a critical hit at long range. Yeah, I'm not gonna take that. Sorry. If you the easiest Japanese food that you can do at home is what is it called again? Oyakodon, which is parent bowl. Literally, it's called parent bowl because it combine what does it call again? A broth, a savory broth made from dashi. Dashi is a broth made from um, I think it's dried sardine and seaweed boiled, boiled, and then you add onions on it, and then chicken, and then just before you serve it, you add eggs that is slightly beaten, and then cook it, and then you put it on top of a steaming pile of rice. So also when I first started cooking Japanese food, most of the people there recommend adding sugar into the dish, but I don't like sweet food in my savory food. Bear in mind, I do love desserts, but if you have to put um, turn savory food into sweet food, then I have something to say about that. Your high school friend's dad of yours, owned a chili business. Ooh, we used to do stupid stuff like eating whole naga morihes. Oh my god. Oh my god. Santa, is your mouth okay? Like you eat the whole thing, the whole naga. Oh my god. Oh man. How are your mouth okay, Santa? I'm not even sure which one I should take. Should I take Heart of Ice? No. You know what? I'm gonna take Velocity. I do know people that doesn't stand sweet. Sorry, not sweet, spicy. Spicy stuff. Um Even myself, okay. Some weeks I cannot tolerate spicy stuff. Um Mostly because I can feel my mouth reacting to it much strongly. Mostly it manifests itself as an ulcer. I'm not sure if there's any. Oh, fuck me. Okay, you need to die. And hello, electric whip. Okay, electric whip is good, so I'm gonna take it. Ooh, okay. I thought it was something else, but nah, sorry. Laser Glyph can be sold. I rarely use it. By the way, Santa, ooh, what's this? Oh no, I don't have that. Okay. What kind of spicy food do you like to eat? Any specific cuisine that you like? Okay, let's do this. Did you know if you like to eat curry, curry usually tastes good the day after you cook it. So what I usually do is that I made not a lot, but more than twice the portion that I want to serve people at, and then I store the rest as a leftover and eat it at a later date. Nice. Nothing special. You like spicy curry and stuff? Ooh, nice. I feel like most people that don't like curry usually mostly because they are exposed to curry that has been improperly cooked, I have to say. Ooh, blood sword. Or should I take blowgun? You know, I'm gonna take blowgun. Why not? Wheat shield. They changed that. The flavor somehow evolves overnight. Yes, you're correct. Because when we are talking about curry, right? They use a lot of spice, and there's a lot of science going on behind that. Usually, in terms of spice, that when you cook, when you let it sit overnight, the flavor is able to be extracted out from the spice and into the dish itself, and afterward, it mellow itself out, and then the excess flavor that is quite strong on your palate on the day you cook, that excess, sorry, not excess, that strong flavor, slightly evaporated out, and then it leaves just enough flavor into the dish so that it is not too overpowering. And I'm quite surprised I know that. But yeah, as I think I've said it on stream before, but I learned. Oh gosh, okay. When I was in university, I learned chemistry, right? And basically, and I am when I was in university, my chemistry major is oh fuck, is usually natural products. And what is spice if not natural products? And you add chili to many sauce you make. Ooh, nice. That tang of spiciness. It can make any bland dishes turn superb. I forgot that I have the blowgun. I should use that more often. Nice. Look at how strong. Ooh. The blowgun is so good. Nice. Okay. Too bad we got hit. Nice. Oh no. Okay. If oh my god, why do you give me this? No, no thank you. You like to collect mushrooms and use some wild herbs and leaves of edible plants for salad. Ooh, yes. You do some foraging, I see. Nice. Okay, speaking of nature product, right? I'm not sure if anyone notices this, but personally, the stuff that you got from foraging, for example, is I'm not I'm not saying this with scientific um what's the word? Not research, scientific evidence behind it, but I feel like flavor-wise, they are much more flavorful and much stronger than their normal counterpart, farm counterpart. I'm not sure. The best example is one. Um, yeah. I think herbs. Yeah, herbs. In in certain case where you let an herb grow to its full maturity, it tastes quite different than those you got from the supermarket. Even those grown in those little hydroponic cups, yeah, it tastes quite different. I use quite a lot of herbs in my cooking, so it does taste quite different compared to okay, apple to apple. Let's compare this. Um, Fresh herb that you got from the supermarket compared to fresh fresh thyme from the supermarket and fresh thyme that you got from a well-developed tree is quite different to both. If you cook with herbs such as thyme that is from a fully matured tree, it tastes more intense and you get a lot of flavor out of it. If, for example, I'm not sure there's a scientific reason behind that, but that's just my anecdote behind it. If they get too mature, they often start to get bitter. Yes, you're correct. You often try to get them in the spring when they are young. You're correct, Santa. Especially when you are, yeah, time is a very good example of that actually, because if you use a lot of time from a woodier part of the plant, it does taste quite bitter and quite it leaves a bitter aftertaste on your mouth. So yeah, try to get from the young shoot, but try to get the one that is in between to get the most flavor out of your herbs. Man, the herbs I got from the supermarket, one is hella expensive, and second, it doesn't taste as good as the one that is from a fully developed tree. And also, if possible, try to use fresh herb as possible if you are cooking. Trust me, it tastes a world of a difference. Okay, what's up with my phone right now? Hello? Okay, what's up with this? Oh God. Okay, sorry about that. Oh my God. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna do it later. Okay. Where where was I? Okay, flamethrower turret. Ooh. Oh, snap. I um I miscalculated. Oh, you. Undead archer, huh? Well, undead archer, meat. Oh God. Hello? You know what? Oh, okay. Hmm. Sure. Man, speaking of herbs, it's been quite a long time since I did uh lemon, potato, and chicken a bake. Oh my God, what kind of sentence is that? A bake lemon chicken dish that use fresh thyme and a little bit of rosemary in it. Man, yeah, I should do that. Hmm. What is this? Star Fury. Hmm. Nice. You also dry some herbs and grind them so you can have at the time at the year too. Most of the year you can't have fresh. You're not sure how much season affect me in Malaysia? Was it? Yes, you're correct. I am in Malaysia. Yeah, you're correct about that, huh? I never I never thought of it like that. Yeah, I guess it do be like that. So basically in Malaysia, in most of the equator country, we don't have seasons like those in temperate countries. We basically have a pretty much consistent season, which is either hot or rainy season, either one of those. But yeah, I do agree about that. I don't think that time is winter hardy. That word? Winter hardy, yes, that's the word. Yeah, I can consider that. But if possible, if I, for example, had an excess of um fresh herb, I usually would just freeze it. I think freezing herbs is much better because it at least preserve the essential oils that is inside the herbs. But yeah, I do agree that it's not an all year round experience because yeah, any kind of plant material becomes scarce during winter. I never thought of it like that. Mostly because I don't live in temperate countries, so uh I never have to think about it much. But it kind of makes sense. Yeah, moonstones and stuff. You're right. Now you might actually have some space to freeze as well. Nice. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against dried herbs. Dried herbs are fine and it has its place in your pantry. But if you have the option to use um, fresh, always use fresh herbs. Herbs is one of those that, since they are full of essential oils, right? Um, most of the essential oils are lost during the drying process. So there's a reason why I prefer using fresh instead of dried. But then again, if I am cooking, for example, a pasta sauce, I prefer to use dried oregano instead, believe it or not. And rosemary. Rosemary is one of those herbs that is much better to use dried rather than using fresh. And take that. What about this? Actually, rosemary is one of those herbs that can be quite overpowering. So when you dried it, it takes away the intensity of the rosemary. Oh man, I used to eat a whole chicken that is stuffed with stuffing. Stuffed with stuffing. Is that the right word? That has stuffing in it, that has rosemary in it. Oh man, that tastes heavenly for me. I mean, in once in a while, I do like a different kind of herbs in my dishes. But if I had to use rosemary, it has to be on either lamb or on used sparingly on chicken. I haven't had good rosemary that is being used on beef. Even on vegetarian dishes, rosemary can be quite strong in vegetarian dish. I haven't found a recipe that use rosemary in vegetarian dish that I like. Hmm. Maybe I should do some digging around and see whether or not I have some other recipe that can fully utilize rosemary correctly. Maybe roast potatoes, but that's not vegetables. I mean, I mean, potatoes are considered vegetables, but it's not something that you would want to eat a lot of it. Um, I'm not even sure if I should take the combo or the initiative. Hmm. You've been somewhat of a vegetarian for too long to think about meat foods. The thing about vegetarian food is that the less processing you do, the better it tastes. I actually love stir-fried veggies. I think I'm gonna take combo for now. Yes, stir-fried vegetables. So good. Especially on hardier vegetables such as cabbages and broccoli. Yes, I love that. But so far, I haven't found any vegetables that, sorry, not vegetables, vegetarian dish that fully make use of fresh herbs quite extensively as, um, oh gosh, okay, quite extensively as non-vegetarian dish. Oh snap. Okay, come on. Okay, okay. Oh, oh snap. I hate it when they did it like that. Come on. Nice. Twin dagger, huh? Sorry, not interested. What is this? Oil grenade. Nope. By the way, Santa, you said that you've been somewhat of a vegetarian for too long, right? What kind of vegetables that you would like? You must have a favorite, right? I personally love broccoli. Broccoli is one of my favorite because you can char the heck out of broccoli and it tastes good. Oh my god, charred broccoli is so good. Did you know that you can use the stem in cooking? I did. I did use a lot of broccoli stem. Given that you have to slice it thin, but it does taste quite good. so far so good. This dude need to stop. Okay, this is a dead end. Whoop. Oh no! I am so tempted to do a full restart on this build. Hello? Oh, snap. Okay, pure nail or ice grenade? Haven't met a veggie that you didn't like yet. Ooh. Broccoli is super tasty, and yes, you always use the stem. Nice. Right? You hate seeing people throwing it away. Yes. Oh my god. It kills me in the inside to see people say that you can't eat the stem. Oh my god. You use a lot of big cucumbers looking thing, zucchini or something. I think that's the word, zucchini. I haven't tasted zucchini actually. Yeah, I haven't tasted zucchini. You use a lot of chickpeas too, and lentils and stuff. Although they aren't really veggies, I guess. I think they are legumes, so I consider them as vegetables. They are from plants, so I consider them as vegetables. Just like a potato is a vegetable, but you don't take a lot of potatoes in one sitting. Should I take the pure nail? What is my damage right now? Quite low. So I'm gonna take it for now. Oh my god, okay. You never really cook anything without onions and garlic. Oh yes! Oh, you. Nice. Oh, I never noticed that the enemy becomes stunned. Actually, Santa, you're right. It's garlic. It's garlic with me. I always use garlic in, I think most, if I have to say 90% of the dish that I make, use a lot of garlic. I can forgo without using onion, but without garlic, the dish somehow tastes different. I'm not sure why people would say it's too intense. Oh my god, what is this? What is this? Where am I? Hello? Okay, you know what? You know what? You know what? I don't like the current setup that I have right now. I'm just gonna restart. Oh my god. It's self-care. If you are not having fun, you might as well restart. Okay. Man, you can do you can do a lot of stuff with garlic. You have leftover rice, you have garlic, you have scallion. You can make a killer Chinese fried rice with just that. Of course, you need salt, you need white pepper in it, but just with those three ingredients, you can do a killer fried rice with just that. I'm not sure which one I should take. Gotta go fast? Yeah, I'm gonna take that. Marksman bow. You know what? I'm gonna take Rampart. No, not Rampart. If it's Assault Shield, I'm gonna take it. Interesting. Okay, nice. This is much better. Okay, good. Now let's try and do this as quickly as possible or without getting hit. Oh, snap. Okay, that blew. Okay. Okay, let's upgrade our weapon. Ooh. Okay, where is the exit? Come on. Come on. Okay, there it is. At least we got the time bonus. That's nice. I've never tried zucchini. Yes, I've never tried. It's really easy and cheap, at least. Okay, at least in your country. The great main in what? Okay, great main ingredient in woks along with cabbages. Ooh. Easy to grill with some soy sauce and garlic mix. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Yeah, I've never tried zucchini before. Mostly because I didn't grow up with zucchini, and zucchini used to cost quite a lot in here. But I think it's quite common nowadays, so the price might not be as high as I remember it used to be. I might have to take a look in that. I do used to, not used to, I am still cooking with that. Loofah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's common in other places or not. But I think it's quite is it even similar? I don't think it's quite similar. But yeah, it is quite close to each other in the supermarket. Whenever you see zucchini, it is always next to the loofah. cheap there because it's one of the few things that can even be grown there. Ah. Oh. Ah, yes. Zucchini is one of those that can withstand cold temperature, right? Hmm. I never thought of it like that. I'm trying to think. Have I really never haven't eaten zucchini? Yes. Yes, I can confirm that I've never tried zucchini before. Most probably because of its cost. But yeah, maybe I should look at the current market right now and see whether or not it's still cost quite a lot or not. I think I know the reason why it's so expensive here. Mostly because it's quite, what is this? Mostly because I don't think zucchini is able to withstand um higher temperature or hot temperature. Maybe that's why they cannot flower at such high temperature. I know that the curcubit family, which includes melons and cucumber and the likes, are much sensitive to temperature compared to other plants. It too only grow in the summer here, in summer there, of course. But I guess that's cold in your standard. Okay, what is the temperature of summer there, Santa? I have a feeling that the hottest time of the year for you guys might actually be the coldest we ever got in our country. On average, I think in my country it is around um correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's around 26. Is it 26? I might be wrong. No, not 26. It's 30. What am I talking about? And it feels so much hotter because of the humidity too. The hottest is usually 25 and sometimes it can climb to 30. Uh-huh. So it's not that much different. But then again, you said that it is usually the hottest is around 25. And sometimes it can climb to 30 degrees Celsius. Okay. Actually, let me open uh, a weather app right now. Oh gosh, I don't know how to read this. uh, okay. Here's the current temperature in my country right now. At during the day, it is 35 degrees Celsius, and at night it is 24 degrees Celsius. So yeah, there's that. Oh man, should have looked at the temperature. Oof, oof. Yeah, and we already passed the monsoon season, and after this, it's going to be a hot season. Get ready for intense hot, intense heat. That's warm, all right. And that is most of the time on my country. Like I said, there's only two season in Malaysia. It's either rainy season or hot season. 75% of the time it is hot season and the rest is flood. Intense rain and flood. No in between. Ah! That's why I got so... I mean, given the current climate that we face right now, most of the country, such as mine, that is near the equator, are gonna face with a lot more intense rain. Oh, god damn it! Gonna face with more intense rain and monsoon because of climate change. Oh god, oh god. That's why I got so angry at people that says, oh, climate change is not real. It's not even climate change, it's a climate crisis. Those that deny that is a fool. Ooh, ice bow. Man, as much as I want to have the ice bow, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna take the ice bow. Why not? I might not be able to buy the cards, but the ice bow is much more useful for us. Nice. And what is this? Symmetrical lance. Ooh. Inflicts critical hit for 6 seconds if you kill 2 enemies with this weapon. Actually, this weapon is the one that we unlock after beating the right hand. Am I even saying the name of the boss correctly? Right hand king. Oh my god, I don't remember. Because of that, I'm gonna take it. Gonna take it and then store this for a while. Yeah, speaking of climate change, right? Oh man. Oh man, oh man. It's something. Oh snap. I always got mad at people. I mean, you have no excuses in this day and age. Why did I take that? Why did I take vampirism? I'm not gonna... Oh. Oh. Some people have selective bias towards other stuff. You need to stop hitting me, sir. Are you kidding me? Okay, you know what? the symmetrical lens. As good as you are, you're not helping me. So bye. Warm weather has its perks though. We are currently living in the second worst time of the year. It's cold, but not cold enough to be snowing. Everything is just wet and slush. At least it's getting warmer and brighter every day. Here's the thing though. With climate change, expect harsher winter. I mean, I've seen report of every year the winter is getting more and more intense. And yeah, I'm scared to be honest. I'm scared for the future. Not only in terms of climate, in terms of everything else too. Especially greedy corporations. Man, oh man, what a time to be alive, right? Late autumn is the worst. It's kind of the same, but everything is dark and depressive. Ooh, yeah. Also, if you are Santa, are you taking your vitamin D supplement? If you have the chance, please do take vitamin D. I know some people that are not exposed to a lot of sunlight can have a lot of vitamin D deficiencies. I know when I was studying, I do get a lot of that. More ass. Oh no. It's more ass. Okay. Should I go to more ass? I know it's not pronounced as more ass, but it always tickle me to say more ass. Let's go with more ass. You should. Currently you're out. Oh no. Where did I study? I study locally in my country. So here's the thing. Even though my country is full of sunshine, I sometimes I go to my university very early in the morning and I don't see sunlight sometime. And the only sunlight that I see afterwards is at noon. And usually sunlight at noon doesn't have a lot of vitamin D. Doesn't allow our body to produce vitamin D as intense as the one that are at early in the morning. So yeah, I did have some sort of low level vitamin D, and somehow that remedies itself afterwards after I finish my study. So yeah, I didn't expect vitamin D to be such such crucial vitamins to have in your body. I guess that's what people call seasonal depression because of how dark and cold and the lack of vitamin D in your body. Yeah, I can see why it makes some people sad. Yeah, at noon, because of how hot it is, you are most likely to get sunburned or at least a tan in your skin more than you can generate vitamin D. At least that's what I read before. But then again, it might not have scientific evidence. It might be just anecdote. I don't know. But I did have a low level vitamin D. Just that I haven't been exposing myself to morning sun instead of noon at noon sun. Okay, and then let's get frostbite. No, heart of ice. Okay, actually, frostbite is good. Also, if you, I'm not sure about the temperature. I think the sun intensity in certain places are much more intense. But then again, I might be wrong too. Oh, hello. Nice. Seasonal depression is a big thing in Finland. In the summer, we have sun around the clock, and in the winter, you have Pamos, which is the time the sun doesn't show up at all. Ooh, yeah, I've heard about that. Man, oh man. Yeah, I can see why it is a big thing there. Um, I've seen people um what does it called again? Post videos showing how people cope during the winter. Is it true that they put a lot of lights in the streets? I'm not sure, but from the video that I saw that they in the late last year actually during winter, I've seen people put up a lot of lights and mostly it's dark to be honest. Oh gosh. Yeah, I can see how it is quite um intense for one's psyche, especially if you are living alone. Man, I would get sad quickly. Ah! Stop! Stop! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Ooh, carrots! Small carrots! Are you kidding me? Cities would okay. I think I phrased that weirdly, huh? I get you guess cities wouldn't function without them. No, what I meant was that they put light in such a way that it is intense. Okay, how am I going to phrase this? Um, they put light that is so intense that it is going to stimulate the sun. Not stimulate. Oh gosh, how am I gonna say this? Hmm. The intensity of the light they use is similar to how you usually get from the sun, meaning it is very bright compared to normal light. I don't know, man. I don't know. Do I mean sun lamps? Is that what they're called? I don't know, man. The video that I see or saw doesn't say anything about sun lamp, but they usually line the street with very intense lighting. I don't know. I don't know how it works. The video doesn't have any commentary in it, so I'm not sure what's going on in that video. It's just that they show um the guy show him taking videos in the cities, and then how it what it's like living in, I'm not sure which country that is, but it is one of those places that similar to you, Santa, where they are having a period of darkness where the sun didn't rise at all. So I guess one of the um, Nordic countries, then there's sun lamp. Yes, haven't heard of them used outside, but there are sun lamp people use inside homes to get the brightness and even some vitamin D. Uh-huh. Today I learned there's sun lamp. Interesting. Do they get hot? Do I have the link to the video? I have to take a look at my imager. It's one of, like I said, I watched the video in sorry, not late, early December. So I'm not sure if it's gonna show up on my favorites right now. But if I see it, I'll be sure to post the link to you. Your old ones got a bit hot, but nowadays it's all LED. Ah, I thought there's gonna be a specific, because the lamp is specifically called a sun lamp. I thought it's gonna be something specific. I guess it's all LED, huh? Interesting, interesting. Ooh. Come on. Oh, you kidding me? Okay. Oh man. Stop running. Okay. What is up with the game that started to automatically put it on survival? Interesting. I should heal. What is this? It's just an empty room. You're guessing it's something with using the correct wavelength that are strong in the sun, and of course the intensity of the light is stronger than your average lamp. Interesting. So the function of the sun lamp is to get the specific wavelength of the sun in the comfort of your home. I see how it's gonna be used. Okay. Interesting. That's the first time I've heard. What is this? No. I mean, the closest thing I've heard about a lamp using a specific wavelength is in grow lights. Um, but yeah, it's not, wait, it's not the one that is red and blue LEDs, right? If so, then it is quite similar to grow light that people use in indoor hydroponic. I've learned a lot today. You're not sure sun lamps that you have seen didn't have the same tint as growing lights. Okay, then I guess it is quite different. Pardon for the question, because that's the first time I've heard about sun lamp. So I am quite curious as to know what kind of lamp it is. Whoa! Okay. Whoops. Okay, there's nothing here. Let's go down. They've all have been bright white. Ah. You monster. What did you do to me? Okay, I guess that's all from this area. So let's go back down here. No! Stop! Stop running, please. Oh! Okay. Phew. Are you kidding me? Come on. Okay. Whew. At least we survive. Nice. Okay. Too bad we got hit. Such a shame. Come on. Whoops. still don't know what is the function of this statue looking thing. Doesn't help me. Okay. Yeah, we talk a lot of stuff on this stream. From food to seasonal depression. I actually enjoy talking to people like this because now I learned that there's a new stuff that I didn't know. Oh my god, why do I have a lot of cells? 100? I don't want to unlock it just yet, so I'm just putting in just enough cell. So that I didn't have to unlock it. Man, I see I have a lot of cells. Not cells, stuff that I've already unlocked. Not sure what else should I take. I mean, I should take the velocity one because we do have something aspect. I'm not sure what kind of buff is that, but they gotta go fast one. So I'm gonna take this velocity one. Oh man, okay. I just remembered that I also have another thing that I wanted to do for the stream, but I forgot. Okay, okay. Oh, you kidding me? How am I supposed? Are you kidding me? Oh god, no. Okay, okay. Whew. Nice. Quite a close call. Are you kidding me? New slicer might be good, so... Vampirism, huh? Okay, so I'm gonna take Senior Slicer instead. Build Village. Ooh, but we still got time bonus room, so that's good. Please give me something good. Please. I'm begging. Ooh, poison the enemy. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna take it. Okay. Ooh, that's a lot. Gonna take that. Fit that. Oh my god, we have a lot of coins. I never noticed that. Man, after this, I really have to go. After this run, I really have to go because I have a lot of work to do. So many stuff to do. So little time. Okay. Nice. Okay, no. Come on. Why do you give me something? Wait. Yeah, something that I will not be using. Hello? Talk about food and lights. Recently, you got some seeds from your sister to grow some sprouts, so you need a setup for that. Ever tried something similar? Yes, actually, I've tried using sprout before. I think, are you talking about sprouts or are you talking about microgreens? Um, Sprouts usually don't need light, but microgreens, during the first 3 days, you don't need light, but afterwards, a little bit light will usually turn it into a microgreen. So yeah, that's. Are you trying to grow sprouts or are you trying to grow microgreen? Because if I'm not mistaken, sprouts are much simpler and much more um, direct approach compared to microgreens. I have tried both and I do love both. I usually use mustard seed for my microgreens. Such a nice peppery taste to it. You, uh, you guess you could try either or both. Nice. Uh, if you have sunlight or have the setup for grow lights, do try having do try grow microgreens. In fact, they are quite similar. I think the reason why it's called microgreen in the first place is that the plant or the sprout has been exposed to sunlight enough so that their chlorophyll has been activated and turned green. That's why it's called microgreen. But sprouts usually need only, I think, a few days, and also it doesn't need to be grown in a flat surfaces. You can grow in a mason jar. I've tried that, but you need proper drainage and something to place it that is near warmth. Don't make that mistake. Don't make my mistake actually, and putting it somewhere that is too warm that it kills the seed. Oh, you. Stop, sir. Oops. Nice. Yeah, I'm not gonna take it. Are you kidding me? Okay, what is wrong with you? Stop. My health. No. Man, if only video editing is so simple and straightforward. Oh my god. Only, yeah, if only video editing is... What the do I want this? No, I don't. I'm not taking any... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take it. We are almost near the end, and no risk, no reward. So I'm gonna try. We got the barricade too. Nice. The card. Okay, what is this? Poison, huh? Okay, what about something else? Good. Do you even put the sprouts in soil or just some wet paper? Wet paper. Microgreen, of course, needs soil. Actually, you don't need soil in order to grow microgreen. I've actually grown microgreens on tissue paper, kitchen towel roll, actually, and they grow just fine. For sprout, you usually do not need anything else. You can grow some in a mason jar. Just a mason jar, but you need to have proper drainage in it, otherwise the seed will be rotten. But then again, how long do you need your sprout to be? If you simply want the seed to be sprouted, then mason jar technique is much more beneficial. But if you like your sprout to be quite long, then I would suggest putting it in some place flat. You can take some strainer and put a damp kitchen towel, and then let it simply sprout onto that. Like I said before, it is quite similar. Both microgreen and sprouts both use the same technique. The difference is that if you want to grow microgreen, you have to put it somewhere that there's no sunlight or light source that is gonna turn the sprouts green prematurely. Because remember, the second the plant been exposed to light and turn green, they will stop growing tall, and they will simply grow into plants. Okay, I need to be careful here. Do not make any stupid move. Take my time. We have the ice bowl. No. Oh. No. Oh shoot. Oh shoot, both of you. Oh snap. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna... Oh snap. Oh. Okay, relax, relax. What is going on with me? I forgot I have traps. Okay, you need to stop. Oh! Okay, nice. Thank goodness. And I did something bad by mistake. I should do that. Okay, nice. You were planning to grow some of the seeds into plant as well. You have at least radishes, but can't remember what else you had. Nice. Okay, if you are planning on planting seed that you want to grow into full grown adult plants, um, don't use the technique you use for sprouts because a leggy plant um, that's let me think about this. A leggy plant that is suitable for sprout is not gonna make a very strong normal plant because of how leggy it is, and it will not be stout, and it doesn't have the necessary support for it to grow into a full adult plant. But for radishes, have I planted radishes before? I did. I did plant radishes before. Um, yeah, radishes are much easier to sprout. It is the same vein as brassica, which is like mustard seed and broccoli seed. They are very much easy to sprout. Oh snap. Speaking of radishes, man, I love Korean daikon radishes that has been pickled correctly. Especially if you are eating fried food. Mmm, such a nice palate cleanser that is. Whoops! Nope, I'm not trying to go here. Interesting. Oh man, it's already 7 o'clock here. It's okay, it's okay. I can take a little bit time. 25 cell. Okay. Don't think you've tried pickled radishes before? Ooh, you should. It's quite simple to do actually. You only need I think salt, vinegar, and sugar. And you cut your daikon radishes into mini cubes. I think personally cutting vegetables in cubes are much more labor intensive, I have to say. As someone that is making that their business, um, yeah, the most annoying part is turning vegetables into cubes. I hate doing that, but uh, trust me, it's gonna be worth it. if you are eating something that is very heavy on your palate, having a pickled daikon radish is very refreshing on your palate. Let me see if I remember which recipe I followed. If you Google a Korean YouTube cooking channel, I think Mangchi, I think that's the channel name, MAANGCHI, and you search that into Google, um, and alongside with pickled radish, and you will see how she did it. I think I followed from her recipe. In fact, let me just search pickled radish, MAANGCHI. Yep, pickled radish from 5 years ago. That is the title of the video is called Chicken Moo Pickled Radish. Man, I love pickled radishes. Such a nice way to cleanse your palate. Ooh. Create a lightning orb. Yes, please. Here's the thing about radishes. I personally did not like eating it raw. I have to eat it as something pickled. Even a quick pickle would do the trick. Your nail, huh? And it's much lower quality. No, thank you. Found a bit, yes. If you have the opportunity to make it, I highly suggest you do it. Hey, hello? What? It's kinda peppery raw, yes. I think I've only eaten radishes raw in certain cases. And in both cases, they had to thinly slice the radishes into thin disc. That makes it more tolerable, I guess. Man, a good pickled radishes would not last long in my house. Oh no! Oh no! No! You, sir. You pickle a lot of open-field cucumbers with garlic, of course. Ooh, nice. All homegrown. Aren't you lucky then, Santa? A homemade pickled with fresh produce? Nice. You can't get anything much better than that. Not even store-bought. Hey, stop, chill. Whoop. Nice. Vampirism. Not interested. Sorry. It's great and lasts forever. Yes. Pickle usually do last longer. Okay, speaking of pickle, wait. I've never eaten pickled garlic before. Believe it or not, it is quite common in my country. I simply never eaten it. Well, mostly because, I don't know. I feel like there's fresh garlic. Why would I want something pickled? So I can't say that I've tasted all form of garlic. Yeah, but oh shoot. Okay. Oh no. It is quite common in East Asian um, Chinese cuisine, especially to use pickled garlic. In fact, in the supermarket that I frequently go to, they sell a lot of pickled garlic. But I've never had, I've never wanted to try it before. Oh, shoot. What is going on? Oh. Okay, I'm almost dead. Hello? What's up with the weapon choice? This happened to me consistently, even off stream. The weapon choice that I've been given is so bad. Pure nail? Throwable object? Ice crossbow? Okay, anything good? No. No, you don't. Interesting. Okay, let's teleport. Interesting. Down here? Oh my god, come on. Oh, another bow, huh? Oof. And it doesn't sell for much too. Interesting. Have I tried just plain garlic fried in oven? Just slice them in half and put those bad boys in the oven. Maybe put a little bit of olive oil on top. Yes, yes, I usually do that. Low roasted oven, low roasted garlic in the oven. Yes, I've tried that before. And if you didn't finish it, I don't know why you didn't finish it, you can smoosh the softened garlic and then mix it with butter and then spread it on top of bread and then toast it. Oh my god. Okay, I'm salivating just thinking about it. Just a little bit of salt would bring it to the next level. Oh my god, okay. I I need to do that. It's been quite a while since I've done that. Self-made garlic bread is the best. Yes. Yes. And it's so much easier too. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, okay. I don't have the bell tower key. Interesting. I should take this. Only problem is that the fingers smell for days after preparing fresh garlic. Uh, you're saying that as if that's a bad thing, Santa. Unless you're dealing with vampires. It's a good vampire deterrent too. But honestly, yeah, I do agree. Garlic, yeah. If you handle raw garlic too much, your fingers do smell. But then again, if you like that much garlic, it won't bother you much. I know some people dislike smelling garlic. I don't know why, because maybe they are vampires. Hmm, vampires hidden among us. Yeah, I know some people don't like the smell of garlic. Can you imagine having a clove of garlic, just rub it in into a bowl? Okay, here's one of the strangest abomination I've ever heard before, is that people some people would take a single clove of garlic, put it in a kitchen towel, and rub it into a bowl, and then put fresh pasta on it without actually using the garlic. Oh my god. And the thing is, they throw away the garlic, the single clove of garlic away because they've used it. I'm doing air quotes. They've used it before. that is that is curse one of the curse information that I've heard before, and I still can't get over how horrendous that sounds. A single clove of garlic. Oh man, I can't imagine. I can imagine that it even tastes. At that point, you are better off skipping garlic in the first place. You don't even need. I get mad. I have a visceral reaction to it. The whole notion of using only one garlic and only rub it in a bowl. You don't even cook with the garlic. And then they throw it away. Oh my god, such a waste. Like I said before, I hate wasting food. Okay, okay. Okay, good. The carnage we produce on this battlefield. Ooh, Star Fury. Okay. Star Fury looks good on paper, but practically it's useless for me. I don't know. Speaking of that garlic abomination, I don't think I don't think I've ever encountered any other cursed recipe. Oh, wait, I don't have I don't have cells. Garlic is a miracle. We also use it with fondue to prevent the cheese from burning in the pot. Ooh, interesting. I never knew that people use garlic in fondue. Uh-huh. Another something that I learned something new today. How does it work, Santa? Do they chop the garlic into small pieces, or do they put whole garlic cloves in it? Interesting. Are you kidding me? Oh. Okay, this is not good. Curse. Treasure chest. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Oh my god, look at this. 2 sinew slicer. And both of them are level 8. 8 plus. But one is much more expensive than the other. Victim frees nearby enemies when they die. A victim of bleeding spreads it to other enemies nearby. Interesting. And what is the weapon that I have right now? 6 plus plus. So I'm gonna take it. I still don't understand why this one is much more expensive. Yeah, sure, why not? Oh! What? Okay, interesting. You grow a lot of garlic, so we have a garlic smusher. Okay, so you smush it into a smusher and smear the smush into the pot. Okay. Uh-huh, so you make it into basically a paste. Uh-huh. I see. So then again, um, so you put it raw into the into the pot, and then you basically add cheese into it and heat it up with the garlic mush. Okay. Interesting. I've never heard fondue being made like that. Oh fuck, okay. I panic. I panic and I click the wrong Ah! No! Please. Okay. I hate this spear dude. Okay. Oh no! Okay, okay. Oh snap, oh snap. How? How did you manage to hit me? And I'm almost dead. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Come on. Why won't you die? Hello? Sometimes this game is much more stubborn. Thank you. It's from your parent. You don't know where they learned it from. At least it's supposed to prevent the burning without having to add oil to the cheese, which sounds wrong to you. Although they haven't really experimented without the garlic, so maybe it doesn't work at all. Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard people making fondue adding garlic before. So that's actually something new. Maybe it does work. I don't know. Then again, cheese in my country is considered something of a luxury because it is quite expensive. Mostly because we have to import our cheeses. Oh gosh, okay. We don't have a lot of dairy, the surplus of dairy to make into cheese. I mean, there are some dairy farms in my country that produce cheese, but they are limited to that place only. So yeah, I've never tried fondue before. Um, Scratch that. I've had fondue before. It's just that I haven't had it in such a long time. Whoop. Interesting. I should go up, not down. If I wanted, I could have gone through the next level already. Okay, there's something up here. Ooh. Interesting. Okay, the one thing I'm always perplexed is that every portrait of the Shovel Knight has this. Okay, now you're not showing it. But if you have the Frost Blast and if you have Lake Hugger activated, it will attack every single portrait of Shovel Knight. I'm not sure why, but there must be a reason why. It's not a bug. Nice. Oh god. Okay. Oh, thank goodness. Yes. Don't we have water buffalo cheese, or do you even have water buffaloes? Um, we do have water buffaloes, but I don't think people use them as to milk them. We do have dairy cows, but then again, it's not as prevalent here, mostly because from the lack of farming area. Yeah, I think it's mostly because of that, due to the lack of space in order to allow the cow to graze and make them happy. To be honest, I don't think Malaysia is known for their dairy. I mean, we do have a dairy farm that is producing milk locally so that we don't have to import as much, but it's not enough so that we are able to produce our own cheese. Yeah, interesting. So it's mostly for meat. Yes, mostly meat and um dairy. Certain cows. I'm not sure about the farming industry in my country right now. I think dairy cows and cows that are raised for meat is two different cows for the industry. I'm not sure. I really don't remember don't know much about the um industry about that. Okay, oh no. That's highly unlucky, but whatever. Okay, assault shield. Okay, since we are fighting a boss after this that requires a shield in order for me to win, I'm gonna take this and save this for now. Assault shield, huh? That's lucky we got it in our run. Okay. Let's go to the throne room. Okay, what? Ooh, okay, that is good. That is very good. Not this. Interesting. Let's get this. This one, Barnacle 6 plus. Yeah, I'm gonna take it and replace with this sinew slicer. Oh oops. I know I didn't fully explore the whole area down there, but I'm running out of time. And okay, I just need to do this as quickly as possible. I have a lot I have a lot of weapon that I just put it at one cell. Okay, good. And do that, do that. Do I need frostbite? I do need this. Counter attack. Successful parry. You know what? I should never do that in the first place. What am I doing? Because the shield does freeze enemy, block with parry. Interesting. I guess dairy products are less common in Asia overall, whereas in Nordic countries they are a big part of most people's diets. I guess so, yeah. I guess mostly because dairy products are much more prone to spoilage in humid countries. And the fact that we are not temperate also makes it much more difficult to store dairy. Fondue is kind of a luxury, but it's nice to treat yourself every once in a while. You're right, you're right. But then again, I guess cheese is not that uncommon nowadays because a lot of street food here in Malaysia does use cheese, but they use cheddar cheese, not the one not the real cheddar cheese, but the one that is processed cheese, the one with additive in it. So I'm not exactly American cheese. It's a block of cheese. It says cheddar, but it's not exactly cheddar cheese. I'm not even sure how it is. But I know that a real cheddar cheese needs to be refrigerated, especially in such hot country. But the cheese that most people use here in Malaysia uses only um they store it at room temperature. Yeah, man. If you want to pay for extra, I mean a lot more extra for a street food, then you pick the one that has cheese in it. Automatically the price will jump like 2 to 3 times the original price. Easily. That is the minimum price increase. But then again, oh man, I just remember a good mac and cheese. Ooh, ooh, nice. Man, that's a lot of that's a lot of things that I wanted to do. This has gotten a lot more expensive here as well. Ooh, is it though? Yeah, I can see how it kind of back. Okay. Okay. Hey. Oh my god, okay. Okay, heal. Interesting. Oh god, okay. Okay, okay. This is good, this is good. Whoop! Oh god, okay, 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 okay. Oh snap. Oh nice, yes! Okay, woo! Second time beating this boss that I've had trouble in the past. What is this? The Hand of the King. What did I say about this boss again? The right hand of the king? Right. Oh my god. What is wrong with me? Okay, so yeah, the last time I beat that boss, I got their weapon and then killed the king here. And then there's a cutscene and we lose our body and then we become like this. I'm not... I can still even go. Huh, interesting. But what about this? Interesting. Huh. That's it? I... What? I thought there's gonna be something else, but I guess not. Oh man. Oh man. Ooh. Okay, so I consider that a successful run. We only heal ourselves twice. Run duration 37 minutes. Interesting. This has gotten more expensive due with the war in Ukraine and all that. Yeah, I guess so. Makes everything increase in prices with the inflations and all that. And also, those greedy corporation taking advantage of the crisis in the world. Ah, gosh, what a world we are living in. We are truly back in the 20s, huh? And by that I said 1920s. 100 years pass and we still face the same stuff. Except now we have the looming technological advances, that is AI, that is posed to replace the working class. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. Hmm. Okay. So that's Dead Cells. I've finally beaten Dead Cells. Ahaha. Okay. So that's it. That's it for me today. Oh my god, it's 7:45. Okay. I need to go actually. Thank you so much for watching. Um yeah, I'm gonna try and do my schedule again, and hopefully by tomorrow it's gonna be ready and I'm gonna show it on stream, so that it's much easier to tell people like that about the schedule change. Afterwards, I'm gonna post it on my social media, which is on YouTube community post, on CreamCat Gaming on YouTube, and also on my pin tweet on Twitter, and also on my Discord server. Um, Tomorrow we are still going to play this game, and we'll go into the branching, branching. Oh my god, there's a lot of things that we haven't unlocked, huh? Branching, um, branching map. Yeah, branching map, and see how it goes from there. Um, oh my god, there's another thing that we haven't unlocked. Hello? What is this? Interesting. Okay. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see y'all in the next stream. Goodbye.